My name is Sandy Austin, and I am the executive director of the BIONIC team, which stands for Believe It or Not, I Care. I was a teacher for 10 years and a school counselor for 21 years. So 31 years in education, and those are the best times of my life. I knew when I was in first grade, I wanted to be a teacher. And so that was the greatest decision of my life, to be an educator. BIONIC team empowers kids to reach out to their peers, to let them know they are seen, they matter, and people care when they're going through difficult times. And what our hope is for, as students are sick, bullied, hospitalized, or lose loved ones, what we found is those things can cause a student to spiral down into more difficult issues, feeling depressed, feeling isolated, feeling forgotten. And so as we're doing these simple outreaches, like breakfast for new students, get well packets for students that are sick, giving kids and their families a pie, or giving kids a mug with some comfort food if they've lost a loved one, for kids that are bullied, by reaching out to them and letting them know that what happened was wrong and they didn't deserve it. And then inviting them to eat lunch with them, or walk down the hall with them, just to let them know there is support for them at school. What BIONIC does is it creates a more caring climate in a school to let everyone know we've got them, we've got their back, we are watching them, and there are people there to help support them when they're going through those difficult times. I had student taught at Columbine High School, and 17 years later then, when I became a school counselor, what happened is I was back in that district, and on the day of the shootings, they put a message out to everyone, all the mental health workers in the district, if we could go over to Columbine to help. And so I ended up being there for an entire week, and I spent a lot of the evenings and the weekend there too, trying to help out. And then 2 years after that, at my own school, Green Mountain High School in Lakewood, Colorado, we had 4 suicides in 8 months. And so thinking through with the Columbine tragedy and this suicides at my school, I thought, as educators, as school counselors, we're doing a lot of work. We're doing a lot of great work, but we were missing something. And so I thought, okay, what can we do? So as I talked with the students and the families and the staff after those 4 suicides, I found out that what we needed to do is we need to empower the kids, the students, to be able to reach out to their peers who are new, sick, bullied, hospitalized, or lost loved ones. We needed boots on the ground, because the kids were the ones that saw those kids in the restrooms that were crying, out of the sight of the adults. And so I started BIONIC in the 2004-2005 school year. Now we have over 100 schools that have started. COVID has really hindered us in really expanding and getting this moving quickly. But we have over 2,000 schools worldwide that have inquired about starting BIONIC teams. And BIONIC teams are in schools elementary through college. And so it's been exciting to see these kids learn skills that they're continuing the rest of their lives. The oldest alumni that I ever worked with in BIONIC are now 34 years old. What they're doing is, if they have children, if they're married and have children, they're teaching their children how to care about the people in their world. And what is happening is the BIONIC members, alumni, they are starting BIONIC teams in their businesses, and they want to be able to reach out and make a difference. And we really saw that happen full force during COVID. Oh my gosh, the effects of the pandemic on our students' lives have been devastating. For example, we have a Prevent Bullying by Just Saying Hi program. H is get help from an adult if you see the bullying, or see it in person or online, or if you heard about it. And then the I is initiate contact with that bullied student, hopefully sometime that day, to say it was wrong and they didn't deserve it, and to let them know the support that they've got there at school. So what happened, for example, with COVID and with kids being homebound, doing remote learning and quarantined and all that type of thing, what we saw across the board is students regressed. Some up to 2 years in their social skills. For example, there was a girl, Maria. She was a 6th grader and she was so excited to get back into school last spring. And what happened is she loved PE. And so her first day in PE, they were playing basketball. And so what happened? She went up for a rebound, grabbed it, and another girl pushed her across the floor. She got up and she went like this and she went, "Urgh!" And like that. And, of course, so here are middle school kids. What are they going to do? Oh, they just started laughing. Oh, what are you, a dog? Or are you a bear? What's your problem? And so what happened is she was embarrassed and ran to the school counselor's office, and she didn't go back to school last spring. What's amazing is we have schools that the BIONIC teams that have already registered with us in the past, in the last couple of years, it only costs them $200 to renew. Also, someone starting a brand new BIONIC team, it costs them $400 to start the BIONIC team. What we're finding is some of the big districts are getting money. They have lots of money for mental health needs and that type of thing. But there are a lot of schools out there that can't afford even $200 to renew for a BIONIC team because they had to provide Google Chromebooks or laptops last year, or the food. They've had to provide breakfast and lunch for all their families in their schools. So there are some schools that they're saying, like I said, we have 2,000 schools that want to start a BIONIC team, but they don't have the money. And out of our 100 schools that have been BIONIC teams in the past, we have about 50 schools that are having a hard time coming up with the $200. But the most important thing is seeing these kids learn those skills, as I mentioned before, seeing the skills of how to make a difference with their own lives. And for kids to learn, we have, oh my gosh, I can tell you this story. What we have is we have a middle school that has been training in elementary school. They are feeder schools that have BIONIC teams. So the middle school goes down and helps the elementary school train their leaders. Oh my gosh. The middle school kids were training the kindergartners how to reach out to new students. One of the girls said, "Hi, I'm Maria. Welcome to our school. Where did you come from?" Oh my gosh, my heart melted seeing that. That's the greatest blessing. This kid, Maria, as a kindergartner, she is learning these skills. And as she goes through that elementary school and that middle school, she's going to be a world changer.